Jeff, how did the guys look today after that long break?
We were good. They were excited to be out there. Had great energy. A little sloppy on some jumping off sides and some legal procedures, some pre-snap stuff that was a little frustrating. More practice, and we've been gone for a little while, so I don't want to make a soft bed for them, but we're not going to overreact. Kids had great energy. It was a pretty day, a little windy, but it was a nice day out there.
Jeff, what's the rotation and depth chart look like at the left tackle position at this point?
We're rotating that. We're competing for it. Ernesto and Meach are battling that thing out, but we're still looking for that spot to get secure, and both those kids have had good days.
I know Ernesto's played some guard and center a little bit in his time here. Was it a transition to get him to tackle, or how was that process played out?
He's just been one of those guys that has been a plug-and-play guy for us since day one. He's had a few injuries, but whatever position we put him in the game, which we've had a lot of injuries up front in our 2 years here, he's always adapted well and just jumped in there. So it's more of a situation where he learns easily. He's a good athlete. He moves around well, as does Meach. Meach has played there in games. So we'll just see, and that's what's great about getting the roster better. We've got good guys competing for that spot, and that's what it looks like right now.
Yeah, and you said Meach has that experience. It seemed like he was the guy you plugged in last year when you needed somebody. Kind of what does he bring to that role, and what did he get out of that opportunity last year?
He's a really good athlete. He moves well. He's a good kid. Both those kids are really good kids. And like I said from the very first day when you asked me about that spot, it's not fair to ask anybody to go in there and just to be Spencer from day one. We've all got to be better, from every one of us, from the head coach to the play caller to the other guys back. All of us have got to be a little bit better to help that spot. That's a tough spot to go in there and play instantly, but we feel good about those kids.
How about the outside linebacker position? That's another one where you guys have had a lot of turnover and kind of trying some new faces there. What have you made of that group so far?
Yeah, Jamori has done well, obviously. We got old Smithson Valley out there, and we got Cibolo out there. So we got two hometown kids up there as well. And we expect Trey and Caleb to both be really good football players. They're both young, but they're good kids. They come from great programs. They're tough. They show up and work every day. We'll be fine in that spot. We've also got Tremaine Bell out there as well. We moved him around because he's a veteran that can move and do things. So we feel good about all of our players that are replacing kids we've lost. It's just a matter of, like I told them, we want to find out in the spring. We don't want to find out in the Houston game. We don't want to find out in the Army game. We want to find out in the spring. So we're really turning the heat up and trying to, I don't want to say expose, but expose those guys as much as possible, so when they get in the game, it'll be a little bit easier.
Have you experimented with Cyrus Simon at that position at all?
No, we haven't. He's such a leader interiorly for us, but no doubt he has the athletic ability, as would Avery Morris, as would Jamal Liggins. We've got a plethora of guys. You like that, Greg? Plethora. You didn't want to throw that one out there on you, right? I don't know where that came from. Must have been like one of those ACT test study words back in the day that just came out of nowhere.
What made Tremaine a guy that was a good fit to potentially stand up or to just try something new?
Again, his IQ and his character, his ability just to move around, play in multiple positions, and that's what's great about the spring. I really challenge my guys in the spring. It's when we want to experiment with some things and just get it on video. Let's just look. Let's don't be doing this in fall camp. Let's don't be doing this, which was so tough about our first year here together because we didn't get to do all this. We had to go out there and just figure it out, right? So just experimenting.
Jeff, this is the second week of practice. What's the health like with the guys?
Well, today was the first day of full pads, so we did take we took some few injuries today. I don't know if they're injuries or just hurt. We'll see. They'll be in there with Nick, but it's why you ideally like to get some practices in before spring break, because that gives them another good 10 days to get healed back up again. And it's also the reason we practice the way we do is every other day you got some time to heal up. And I just think it's a great way to practice. So we'll find out. We'll have staff meeting today, and I'm sure Nick will fill us in on the couple of guys that went down.
You guys obviously have some people that are replaced in that defensive line rotation. Do you want it to be Kind of like last year where you have 9 guys you're cycling through, or could you see a scenario where maybe it's a little bit more shallow and some guys play more snaps than they did a year ago?
No, we ideally always want to rotate our guys. It's hard to rotate corners, and even a safety spot back there is kind of hard. But from all your interior 7 plus a nickel, I guess that'd be your interior 7. I apologize. Those 7 guys, we hope we're always at least 2 deep playing, the wheel spot, the sound spot, and the mic spot. And then on the defensive line, you'd like to be 3 deep. And we actually talked about that today, is that I promised those kids when I recruited them I was going to play them. And we've done that since we've been here. We're deep. We play kids. So that's always ideally the goal. Now, we lost a lot of really good leaders, and that's where we've got to get stepped up. Losing Chuck at the wheel position, he was a really good leader. Clarence at the sound position, he was a really good leader. Bull, and I just keep hitting that, don't I? Bull, and who am I forgetting right there? Lorenzo. Those are good leaders. Those are all single-digit guys. Tariq was a single-digit guy. So that's where we've got to get, our leadership. But we've had those guys doing that. Cyrus is doing that. Trey Moore is doing that. Jamal Liggins, Trevor Harmison's stepping up, and we think Little Bull, Thud, will do that as well. We have high expectations for those young kids. Walker Beatty's coming on right now, so there's some good young football players that have kind of been waiting for their moment, and they're starting to step up. Now we'll see. It's only been 4 practices, but so far they've been good.
You last week highlighted Brandon Matterson as one of those guys with a lot of potential. What made you maybe project that he could have a big year? Is he showing signs of progress here, and is he one of those leaders as well?
Yeah, he should be. There's no doubt. We talked about that today in our team meeting. Is if when you can get your best players, the ones that have the most talent, to also be the hardest working guys. We have the Titan data now, and we finally have it now where we have every player on the team has that, so we can make a fair comparison. And we do that every team practice about who actually worked the hardest, who worked the longest, and who ran the fastest. So this is not like just theory or just debate. It's like factual. We have real evidence. And Brandon's starting to be that. And his potential is through the roof. He could be a game changer if he would commit to doing that all the time. And he's done that so far.
Jeff, tomorrow's pro day. Got any idea what to expect out here?
We're really excited. Every team's going to have a representative here. I think that's just awesome. There's a tremendous buzz in our own building. I just hope I can get my current players to go to class because it starts at 12, and I hope I don't see all 100 Roadrunners out there cheering for our former players. I hope they're in class, but there's a tremendous buzz in the building. We'll be getting our future guys measured tomorrow as well. So our next group will also get some attention, which it's just good because it's just good. It just lets them know. And there's so many things that the scouts have said so good about these guys. I'm really excited for them, for the way they prepared, the way they practiced, the energy level. It makes me proud of where we've come in 2 years. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Jeff.
Appreciate it.